Hi guys, so this is the second video on solving quadratic equations. So yesterday we looked at example 2 and we did example 2a to f, and we are looking at now just some more challenging examples to factorise basically. So this is kind of further factorising work to solve these equations. Okay, so I just wanted to give you this in a video so that you could pause it and replay it at your own kind of pace, because some of these ones are slightly harder to factorise. Okay, so if we start example G, now as I say, different methods are used to do these factorising. We're going to stick with the AC method, which is going to be a bit repetitive, but it's the most consistent way to do some of these harder ones. Okay, so we get the coefficients of A, B and C. So A equals 1, B equals 3 and C equals minus 40. Now the process is to do A times C, which is 1 times minus 40, which is minus 40. Okay, so then we're looking for things that add to give me B, which is positive 3, and multiply to give me AC, which is minus 40. So it could be 1 and minus 40 or minus 1 and 40. It's not going to be that because none of those have a difference of 3. 2 and minus 20, minus 2 and 20. Again, it's not going to be either of those because the difference is too big. 4 and minus 10, minus 4 and 10, again, still too big a difference. 5 and minus 8, that seems like more likely to have a difference of 3. Okay, so one of those pairs is going to have a difference of positive 3 if you add them. So let's just try and work it out. 5 add minus 8 is minus 3, so that wouldn't give me positive 3, but minus 5 add 8 would give me positive 3. Okay, so that's the one that I use. So I split my 3x into these two things, so it's x squared minus 5x plus 8x minus 40. Okay, so you factorise each half, so that's going to be x minus 5. Factorise each half, that's going to be x minus 5. So my two brackets become x plus 8, x minus 5, and that is still equal to 0. Make sure and have that equal to 0 there at the end. So now I can solve these two brackets. So x plus 8 equals 0, so x equals minus 8. X minus 5 equals 0, so x equals 5. And those are my two solutions. Okay, so we're going to continue this process for all of these questions. A equals 3, B equals 11, C equals minus 4. A times C therefore becomes 3 times minus 4, which is minus 12. So looking for the numbers that add to give me 11, positive 11, and multiply to give me negative 12. So 1 and minus 12 or minus 1 and 12. Now already in the first set we see we have a difference of 11 in between 1 and 12. So which one is it going to be? 1 add minus 12, that would be 1 take away 12, that would be minus 11. Minus 1 add 12, that's going to be positive 11. So actually it's just that one there. Okay, so split it up to 3x squared minus 1x plus 12x minus 4. So common factor here is going to be x, so that's going to be 3x minus 1. Common factor here is going to be 4, that's going to be 3x minus 1. So x plus 4 is one bracket, 3x minus 1 is the second bracket, equal to 0. So x plus 4 equals 0, so x equals minus 4. 3x minus 1 equals 0, so 3x equals 1, so x equals 1/3. That's the other solution. Okay, we'll keep going. Say examples getting progressively harder. You know, these trinomials are particularly hard if you have a negative coefficient in front of your x. What I would recommend doing is actually making that into a positive, so you're always able to rearrange your equation, move everything to the other side, so that actually there'll be 0 on the left hand side and everything will basically change sign, and that's going to get my minus 6x squared to a positive 6x squared. So I would actually recommend doing that in this case. So that's going to give me positive 6x squared plus 13x minus 6. So we're just moving everything over to the other side, but what that does is that it means that our x squared turns into a positive, which is much easier to work with. So I'll write it again over here, 6x squared plus 13x minus 6 equals 0, just swapping it round. So therefore a equals 6, a equals 6, b equals 13, c equals minus 6. So a times c is 6 times minus 6, so that's minus 36. So positive plus b is 13, a times c is minus 36. So 1 and minus 36, no, it's not going to be that pair. 2 and negative 18, it's not going to be that pair. 3 and negative 12. No, again, it's not going to be that pair. 4 and negative 9. Okay, I had my suspicions that something was wrong with this question, so I had just to pause the video there and try and work this out myself, and it actually doesn't factorise. So we're going to abandon this question because that is a wrong question. It should not be in there. It doesn't factorise. Okay, you need the quadratic formula with a calculator to work that out. Okay, so I thought there was something funny about that, and right enough, it doesn't actually factorise. So ignore that one, and we're moving on. You're going to do example J. So 5x minus 2x squared minus 3. Now, I would always try and rearrange it to the other side if you want to. So 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 equals 0. Okay, so a equals 2, b equals minus 5, c equals 3. So a times c becomes 2 times 3, which is 6. So looking for the things that add to give me minus 5 and multiply to give me 6. So that's going to be minus 2 minus 3, right? So 2x squared minus 2x minus 3x plus 3 equals 0. Okay, so that's going to be a common factor of 2x, and that's going to be x minus 1. That's going to be a common factor of it'll need to be minus 3. And that'll be x minus 1. So your two brackets are 2x minus 3 and x minus 1 equals 0. Bring each one down, that's going to be 2x minus 3 equals 0. So 2x equals 3. So x equals 3 over 2, 1.5. X minus 1 equals 0, so x equals 1. Okay, so x equals 3 over 2 and x equals 1. And the last two we're going to do in this video, are these two. Now, sometimes you do not have equal to 0 on the right hand side, and you need to be looking out for this, okay? You need to get everything onto the left hand side with your x squared, your x and your number equal to 0 before you can factorise and solve it. Okay, so what we have to do first is rearrange to one side, to left hand side, let's say. Okay, so x squared plus 5x, we just need to take away 14 and set it, and then it's equal to 0, and then it's just the same as before. A equals 1, b equals 5, c equals minus 14, a times c becomes minus 14 plus b, a times c. So that it's the things that add to give you 5 and multiply to give me minus 14. So that's got to be either 2 and minus 7 or minus 2 and 7, right? Which one adds to give positive 5? Well, that's going to be the minus 2 plus the positive 7, that one there. So same as before, x squared minus 2x plus 7x minus 14. That will be x in the common factor, x minus 2, and that will be plus 7 as the common factor, x minus 2. So x plus 7, x minus 2 equals 0. Bring each one down, x plus 7 equals 0, so x equals minus 7. X minus 2 equals 0, so x equals 2. And the last one is this one here. So example L, x minus 2 bracket x plus 3 equals 6. So what we have to do is we have to expand this bracket first of all and then bring that 6 over. So expand and then rearrange. So using FOIL, it's going to be x times x to give me x squared. X times 3 to give me plus 3x. Minus 2 times x to give me minus 2x. And then minus 2 times 3 to give me minus 6, and that equals 6. So that's going to be x squared plus 3x minus 2x, that's just plus x, minus 6, but then I want to take away this 6 as well, so that's going to be minus 6, take away another 6, that's going to be minus 12 equals 0. Again, do the AC method and you should get your two brackets. This one's slightly easier to do, so I'm going to skip using that method. We can think of two numbers that multiply to give me negative 12 and add to give me a difference of positive 1. So to me, in my head, I'm thinking 4 and 3. One of them has to be negative to give me a negative answer at the end. So if it's positive 4, take away 3, that gives me positive 1, right? Positive 4x take away 3x is positive 1x. So that's got to be the pair. But you get the same answer as that if you went through the AC method, the same as before. I'm just getting lazy. So x plus 4 equals 0. So x equals minus 4. X minus 3 equals 0. So x equals 3. Okay, so that's your factorising to solve quadratic equations. You should now be able to do any sort of example. Just make sure, similar to these last two, just make sure that everything is on the left hand side equal to 0 before you start doing your ABC method or you start doing your factorising.